In this chapter, we're going to be talking about adjectives and eventually articles, but we'll start with adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe people and things. And in Spanish, most adjectives change to match the noun in both gender and number. All adjectives must agree in gender and in number. This is called, of course, agreement. For example, if an adjective ends in O, then it usually has four forms. There is a masculine, a feminine, which is gender, and a singular and a plural form. If an adjective, for example, bueno, is masculine and singular, it's going to be bueno. If it is feminine and singular, it's going to become buena. If it is masculine and plural, it becomes buenos. And feminine and plural becomes buenas. For example, if we wanted to say Marcos es cómico, we are saying Marcos is funny. However, if we were talking about Yolanda, who is a girl, we would have to say Yolanda es cómica. If we wanted to say Marcos and Juan are funny, we would have to say Marcos y Juan son cómicos, with an S at the end. Because there's at least one boy, in fact, they're both boys, it's going to be masculine and plural, cómicos. However, if we have two girls, Yolanda and Marta, we would say Yolanda y Marta son cómicas, with AS. Some adjectives do not end in O, some adjectives end in the letter E, and that usually only has two forms, singular and plural. Gender does not matter here. For example, inteligente is an adjective that ends in E. There is no masculinity or femininity to that word. It does not become inteligento, inteligenta, or anything like that. It is just inteligente and intelligentes. For example, Anita es inteligente, is Anita is smart. Pedro es inteligente. Regardless if it's Anita, who is a girl, or Pedro, who's a boy, they are both inteligente. However, if we want to say that multiple people are smart, Alicia y Carlos son inteligentes. We, of course, add our S. Some adjectives that have the masculine form that ends in DOR or dor has four forms. Our example, of course, is going to be trabajador. If we want to make that feminine, if we want to say a girl is hardworking, we say trabajadora. If we wanted to make it plural, we would say trabajadores for masculine, and then finally trabajadoras for feminine and plural. In Spanish, if there's a group of both masculine and feminine nouns, the masculine form wins. We talked about that last chapter. So if we say las chicas son cómicas, that's just fine. Los chicos son cómicos, that's also just fine. But if we have both a boy and a girl, Juan and Marta, it defaults to the masculine form. When we write a sentence, we have to change the infinitive to match the subject. To make a verb agree with the subject, we have to conjugate it. We've been using the conjugations of ser a lot so far, so let's review those. Soy, eres, es, somos, sois, and son. So, if we wanted to say, Elsa is a artistic girl, note that in Spanish, it changes order just slightly. Elsa es una chica artística. In English, adjectives usually come before the noun they describe. In Spanish, as you can see, adjectives usually come after the noun that they describe. Notice how artística follows chica, so literally it translates to Elsa is a girl artistic instead of an artistic girl. Note how artistic comes before girl, but artística comes after chica. The big backpack, for example, is not going to be the big backpack, it's going to be the backpack big. La mochila grande. Grande is another adjective that ends in E, so there's no masculine or feminine form, only singular and plural. A white book, un libro blanco. Blanco comes after the word libro, a book that is white. A shy boy, un chico reservado or tímido, if you know the word timid for shy. Here's a very simple pattern that you can follow when you're writing a sentence in Spanish. First comes the subject, then the verb, then the indefinite article, and the noun. And then finally, the adjective comes at the very end. So for example, Margarita is our subject. We want to say Margarita is, and a smart girl, we're going to say she is a girl smart. Una chica inteligente. Though it seems backwards, a lot of times what you're going to find in Spanish is that the pattern is some things are flipped. Pablo es un chico perezoso. Pablo is a lazy boy. If we wanted to use these as practice, Pablo is tall. Say Pablo es alto. Notice how alto agrees with Pablo because he's a boy. Elsa and Teresa are short. Elsa y Teresa son bajas. The adjective bajo agrees with Elsa and Teresa because there's more than one, and they are both girls. The teacher is lazy. We don't know the gender of the teacher, so this one could go either way. El profesor es perezoso or la profesora es perezosa. The students are funny. Again, we don't know the gender of the students, so it could go either way. Los estudiantes son cómicos or las estudiantes son cómicas. Javier is hardworking. Javier es trabajador. Maria is redheaded. Maria es pelirroja. Notice how pelirrojo changes to pelirroja because Maria is a girl. Continuing on to articles. In Spanish, just like in English, nouns are preceded by articles. There are definite and indefinite articles. Definite articles are specific, while indefinite articles are not. The word article is just a fancy way to just say the word the or a in Spanish. For example, if we wanted to say the book, it is a definite article. If we wanted to say a book, the word a is an indefinite article. If you look at the sentence the book or the phrase fragment the book, when I say the book, I'm being very specific about which book I'm talking about. If I said bring me the book, I'm being very specific about which book I want. If I said bring me a book, it is indefinite, it's not specific. I don't know exactly which book I want you to bring me, so we use the word a or a. The definite article in English is just the word the. It works with all nouns. Indefinite articles, we have a, an, or sometimes some. The word an is used when it's placed before a word that starts with a vowel, like an apple. Regardless of singular or plural nouns, the word the stays consistent. The books, the book. The indefinite article changes when it's preceded followed by a vowel, and also when it's plural. A book, an apple, some books, some apples. In Spanish, the articles are as follows. El, la, los, las, un, una, unos, or unas. They are going to change, obviously, as we've talked about in this chapter, to agree in gender and in number. We can see across the top, el and los are masculine, while la and las are feminine. El and la are singular, los and las are plural, and the same rules apply to un, una, unos, or unas. For example, if we wanted to use the word book as an example, if we wanted to say a book, it would be un libro. If we wanted to say the book, el libro. On your vocab list, most nouns will default to the definite article el libro instead of un libro. Unos libros, some books, the books, los libros. Guitar, una guitarra is a guitar. La guitarra is the guitar. Unas guitarras are some guitars, and las guitarras are the guitars. When choosing if you're going to say un libro or el libro, a book or the book, think about it in English. Whichever one that you'd use is going to probably be the one that you're going to want to use in Spanish. For example, if you say, I am wearing a shirt, it sounds much better than saying, I am wearing the shirt, unless you're trying to be specific about what shirt you're wearing. With a few exceptions, if a noun ends in O, it is masculine, and if it ends in A, it is feminine. Some nouns don't end with those two letters, and they end with other letters, like lápiz, pupitre, mujer, and hombre. We just have to memorize that lápiz is el lápiz and not la lápiz. It is el pupitre and not la pupitre. For man and woman, obviously, mujer is going to be feminine because it's a woman, and man is masculine, el hombre. One exception, however, to these rules is el agua. Notice how agua ends in an A, but it's still masculine el agua. This is because they do not want to say the word la agua. It just doesn't sound very well, and it doesn't flow like the language is supposed to. If we tried some of these translations, el jugo, the juice, una galleta is a cookie, unos libros, some books, los chicos, the boys, los maestros or profesores, the teachers, el agua is the water, una chica is a girl, unas mujeres, some women, la pizza, the pizza, los refrescos, the soft drinks. If we were going to work the other way around and go from English into Spanish, we wanted to say the men instead of some men, we'd say los hombres, some girls, unas chicas, the water, el agua, the cookies, las galletas, a television, una televisión instead of la televisión, and a person, una persona.